Hey, what's up everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, got a full backpack on deck, man. And I tripped on the first step, climbing up the steps, and all those push-ups came in handy. My hands caught me, pushed me back up before I even realized I had fallen. So that was a good sign. I tell you guys, push-ups make all the difference, because if I didn't do those, that was face first, especially as fast as I fell. But yeah, man, God is good. It looked like the stair was going straight from my mouth, but my reflexes were quick enough to catch it. And like I said, the push-ups, you do as many push-ups as I've been doing them, and you're not gonna have no problem pushing your weight back up rather quickly. So that's what training is all about, man. I'm carrying this heavy backpack home because I want to keep my conditioning up. It's supposed to be like 95 degrees. It actually does not feel that hot though, so I'm pretty sure it'll get there soon. It's like 2:05, it's still early, so yeah, very fatigued today, man. I don't know, yesterday was a tough stomach day. Last night, a lot of pain in my stomach. I didn't do anything that I shouldn't have done as far as my appetite. I have no idea what that was about, but it was a lot of problems. So yeah, hey, I think today was like a carryover from that fatigue, but I'm pushing through it. I don't really care, you know. My mind feels good. My morale is great. Yeah, it's funny because I was laying my head on my backpack as I was sitting in that in the subway, and I think my body language was giving off sad and depressed. But the truth of the matter is, I feel good right now. I feel pretty good physically. Is what the problem is. Just not 100% energy wise, but like my circumstances. Today's the 7th. I got paid, so you know. The GR came in and all of that stuff, so I don't, you know, I'm not in a bad space with that right now. I watched the Lakers, did a whole Laker video with some actual data to talk about, so you know I'm happy there. I did some playlists. I did one the night before last and one last night, and I got plenty of art to do for those playlists. Looking forward to that. So it ain't like, truth be told, I'm actually doing better than most days, but physically wiped out, absolutely wiped out. So, you know, usually walks like this help though. I remember a couple times I felt wiped out at the beginning of the walk home, and by the time I got home, I had energy just from the repetitive nature of the steps for like an hour or so. That's what I'm giving myself right now, and you know, I'm getting in better shape. That's another thing. That is a truth. Took my shirt off and actually saw some dents in some places I used to see them. So I think I'm on the right track, but yeah, you gotta suffer the ills of the muscle soreness and all of that stuff has to start all over again. It's almost like you're starting it all over again. So I'm not complaining. It's what it is, and I'm older now, so you know, it's more important that I just push myself instead of catching buses and all that stuff that culture-wise cheats us out of a lot of exercise, man. So, you know, I don't believe in escalators and I don't believe in buses in straight lines. If I'm on this side of town, I don't have a car. Car is important for a lot of things, but it also cheats you out of a lot of exercise. So, you know, people join the gym and have treadmills and stuff like that to make up for it, but I'm not doing any of that, so I got to make up for it out here. And with my little home workout. So that's what I do, man. Always looking to try to push this body, man. Regardless of what type of shape it's in, it's always some work to be done. So yeah, man, today's October 7th. For those who've been paying attention to me, it's a very important day because this is when the genocide began. This is the day that the Israeli attack took place, where, you know, what was said to have been 100,000, I don't know how many Israelis were supposedly killed at a festival last year on this day, allegedly by Hamas. Well, we really believe it wasn't Hamas. Hostages were taken. Some of those hostages died at the hands of the people who were supposed to be rescuing them. Some of the hostages were released in great condition, talking about how well they were treated. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, that whole narrative has been debunked a million times over. And now we're on a day where I'm not paying attention to media. I'm not paying attention to, I don't follow anybody who would otherwise support that. I've blocked most of the celebrities that would otherwise commemorate this day. So I haven't seen nothing commemorating this day for the Israelis. But I'll tell you the truth. Here's a God's honest truth, man. Whatever level of darkness a person may be walking in, or whatever amount of truth that isn't available to them, suffering really is suffering. Bereavement really is bereavement. And people are only as good as what they're taught and how smart they are to think their way through it. And there are a lot of people who have been taught some really different things as it pertains to how much importance they hold in the world, what the world is supposed to be around them, who's supposed to be doing what for them, what processes provide what results, and all different types of things that I think don't serve them very well. No different than my own community thinking that certain things that we do serves us well when it does not. I said all of that to say, as far as a lot of those people are concerned, what they're doing is righteous. And even though I know better, it doesn't mean that if they were raised the way I was raised, that they would be inherently evil people. It took a lot to teach them things that I don't agree with, that I would otherwise see as evil. It took a lot of conditioning, a lot of brainwashing, a lot of religious embedding in their heads that would make them feel so many different things that they feel, man. No different than all of us feeling whatever norms we feel. You know, I think about all the things that we kind of go along with that probably ain't no good. It's being indifferent to people, suffering, the capitalistic norms that we have in the society that proves them to be very morally corrupt. The whole process is our norm, and while we stay within those norms, we still pride ourselves on being decent human beings. In certain situations, we believe within the presence of what we know that if we're doing our best, we've earned our way into heaven, or earned our way into the graces of the people around us, or deserve the best of things, or however else people provide themselves grace in the mirror. I tell you, for all those things, I just think that a lot of it has to do with conditioning, no matter where you're from and what conditioning you have. At the end of the day, if you're taught what you're taught, you have to be a very unique individual to be able to think your way through it. And for every society that has any set of norms, there's always that few who see through the conditioning, see through the propaganda. They have to teach others in order for a unique thought to be. If all of our norms teach us all the wrong things, however that's defined, we inherently become guilty of whatever is the worsening of that conditioning actually is. And while those things that the Israelis believe in inherently, based on my understandings and what I believe is fair, are not right, I don't believe they're any different. And I do believe it takes a great deal of consideration and unique wiring, so to speak, to think their way through what it is that they got going on. No different it is to think anyone's way through what any conditioning has been over their heads and in their religious spaces. Undoing some of those wirings are as difficult as to us, in undoing things like taking a shower, brushing our teeth, and things that we deem are best for us. If someone embeds to that degree the idea that you are worthy of something, and that they catch you early enough in life to where you feel it's absolutely against your best energy to think otherwise, then inherently you're going to be a product of whatever it is that propaganda is going to be. We can teach people to walk on their hands, and that they're rude for doing so. If we catch them early enough, do it long enough, and have enough people agree upon it, it will be normal for people to walk on their hands. It'll be normal for people to do anything, if you embed it in their heads and get enough people to duplicate that behavior. How do you reach people to change their minds? Who's to say what's right or wrong? I think it really does come down to what's fair and what's not as pertains to compassion. Whether I'm able to determine a person should or should not be able to do something. It's based on who suffers because of the willingness for them to do it, or their inability to change from that for which hurts others. That's where it becomes a problem, I think. Otherwise, your culture really is your culture, and it's just a matter of who can be tolerant of your culture in the presence of you being tolerant enough not to wage war against them because of the differences in them. Solidarity. I think about all these different cultures around me. Some people believe in wearing black all day, you know what I mean? Maybe they call themselves Gothic or something. Maybe I was raised in a space with the conditioning that I believe in. Suddenly you're the worst person in the world for wearing all black. Now suddenly we're inherent enemies based on the embedding of culture upon our heads from what it is that we truly believe and what it is that was taught to us from early age. As to where you go to another place and people don't think nothing of people wearing black, and therefore both of these people look strange for being so attached to whatever their feelings are about wearing black. It's conditioning of the mind, and the more data we have of human history, the more we realize just how normal things that are abnormal will be as it pertains to the differences in all of us. Culture and music. The very music that I love the most may be the music the lady across the street cannot stand. And every sound that she loves in music that makes her feel good, makes the hair on her arm stand up, is the stuff that makes me want to throw my radio out the window. I mean, music is subjective. Culture can be subjective depending on what you were raised in and what you're being exposed to. And so when it comes to them, they're Israelis, and their inherited belief that they're supposed to celebrate the suffering of Palestinians and that they're due their land and that they can do whatever they want to these people for as long